Welcome, dear viewers, to a journey through time, exploring the foundations of our modern world. History is often seen as a tapestry of conflict and conquest, but moments of diplomacy have also shaped our world. These pivotal moments, enshrined in treaties, represent more than signatures on paper. They embody aspirations and shared visions. Join me as we delve into 10 extraordinary treaties that have left an indelible mark on our world. From European battlefields to global summits, we'll uncover the stories behind these landmark agreements and their lasting impact. The year is 1648. The Holy Roman Empire lies ravaged by the 30 Years' War. From this devastating conflict emerged the Treaty of Westphalia, signed in Munster and Osnabrück. This landmark agreement marked a turning point, ushering in the concept of state sovereignty. The treaty recognized each state's right to govern its own affairs, free from external interference. It established the principle of territorial integrity, laying the groundwork for the modern nation-state system. The Treaty of Westphalia became a cornerstone of international law, its principles echoing through the centuries. It reshaped international relations, moving from empires to sovereign states. Our journey now takes us to medieval England in 1215, a land of rolling hills, bustling villages, and imposing castles. It was a time of great discontent and unrest among the people, particularly against the rule of King John, whose heavy taxation and arbitrary justice had angered many. Facing a rebellion from his barons, King John was forced to negotiate at Runnymede, a historic meeting that led to the signing of the Magna Carta, a document that would change the course of history. Though initially intended to safeguard the rights and privileges of the nobility, the Magna Carta had far-reaching consequences that extended beyond the barons. It established the groundbreaking principle that even the king was subject to the law, a radical and transformative concept for its time, challenging the absolute power of the monarchy. The Magna Carta enshrined the right to due process and trial by jury, principles that have become fundamental to modern legal systems and continue to resonate strongly today. Over the centuries, it became a cornerstone of constitutional government, influencing the development of democracy not only in England, but also in many other parts of the world. Born from medieval power struggles and the quest for justice, the principles enshrined in the Magna Carta continue to shape and inspire legal systems worldwide, underscoring the enduring legacy of this seminal document. We move to the aftermath of the Great War, a conflict that reshaped Europe. The war left cities in ruins, economies shattered, and millions of lives forever changed. Soldiers returned home to a world that was vastly different from the one they had left behind. In the grand halls of the Palace of Versailles, the Treaty of Versailles was painstakingly negotiated, officially ending World War I in 1919. The treaty was meant to bring peace and stability, but its terms were controversial and far-reaching. Its harsh terms on Germany, including heavy reparations and territorial losses, fueled deep resentment. This led to severe economic hardship, widespread poverty, and a sense of national humiliation that would have lasting effects. The treaty redrew Europe's map, creating new nations and altering borders. However, these changes often ignored the complex ethnic realities on the ground, leading to tensions and conflicts in the newly formed states. While the treaty aimed to prevent future wars, it inadvertently contributed to the rise of nationalism and extremism. Political rallies and extremist groups gained momentum, setting the stage for future conflicts. The Treaty of Versailles serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of peacemaking and its unintended consequences. Political cartoons and discussions from the time reflect the contentious nature of the negotiations. Its legacy continues to be debated by historians and scholars, reflecting its enduring impact on the 20th century and beyond. Modern Europe still reflects on the lessons learned from the treaty, commemorating its signing and pondering its implications for future peace efforts. As the ashes of World War II settled, a profound sense of urgency gripped the international community. The devastation was unlike anything the world had ever seen, with entire cities reduced to rubble and millions of lives lost. The scars of war were deep, and the need for a new beginning was palpable. The horrors of war and the looming threat of nuclear annihilation fueled a collective desire for lasting peace. The images of mushroom clouds and the haunting memories of destruction served as a stark reminder of the stakes involved. People everywhere yearned for a future where such atrocities would never be repeated. From this shared hope and determination emerged the United Nations in 1945, with a solemn pledge to save future generations from the scourge of war. The founding ceremony was a moment of unity, as nations came together with a common purpose. The UN Charter, a cornerstone of this new era, outlined principles of international cooperation and peaceful dispute resolution. It was a document born out of necessity and hope, aiming to foster a world where dialogue would replace conflict. It established a comprehensive framework for diplomacy, providing a platform for dialogue, negotiation, and humanitarian aid. The General Assembly became a forum where nations could voice their concerns and work towards common goals. Though imperfect and often challenged, the UN has played a pivotal role in maintaining international peace and security. Its peacekeeping forces have been deployed in numerous conflict zones, striving to bring stability and hope to war-torn regions. The UN Charter stands as a testament to humanity's enduring aspiration for a more just and peaceful world. It symbolizes our collective commitment to building a future where cooperation and understanding prevail over conflict and division. Our journey takes us to Camp David in 1978, where a pivotal chapter in Middle Eastern diplomacy unfolded. For 13 tense days, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat, Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, and U.S. President Jimmy Carter negotiated. The Camp David Accords marked a watershed moment in the Arab-Israeli conflict. Egypt recognized Israel's right to exist, leading to the Egypt-Israel Peace Treaty in 1979. The Accords demonstrated the transformative potential of diplomacy and the possibility of peace. Though not a panacea, they remain a beacon of hope in a region often consumed by conflict. In the late 15th century, European powers embarked on ambitious voyages of exploration. Spain and Portugal, the dominant maritime powers, vied for control of newly discovered lands. To avert conflict, Pope Alexander VI drew a line of demarcation in 1493. The Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494 moved the line further west, dividing the non-Christian world between Spain and Portugal. This agreement had profound consequences, shaping the course of colonization in the Americas. Portugal gained control over Brazil, while Spain claimed vast territories in South and Central America. The Treaty of Tordesillas influenced the geopolitical landscape, shaping the destinies of nations. As the 20th century closed, climate change emerged as a global challenge. In 1997, representatives from around the world gathered in Kyoto, Japan, to address this crisis. The Kyoto Protocol aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions, the primary culprits behind global warming. It committed industrialized nations to specific emission reduction targets. Though facing challenges, the Kyoto Protocol laid the groundwork for future climate agreements. It fostered international cooperation and raised awareness about the urgency of addressing climate change. The treaty's legacy continues to shape global climate negotiations, inspiring further action. It reminds us of our shared responsibility to protect our planet. In the aftermath of World War II, the Cold War era began. The Soviet Union's influence over Eastern Europe posed a perceived threat to Western democracies. In response, the United States, Canada, and 10 European nations signed the North Atlantic Treaty in 1949. This treaty marked the birth of NATO, founded on the principle of collective security. An attack on one member would be considered an attack on all, serving as a powerful deterrent. NATO helped maintain a balance of power in Europe during the Cold War. The North Atlantic Treaty continues to shape the geopolitical landscape, emphasizing the importance of alliances. For decades, Northern Ireland was embroiled in a bitter conflict known as the Troubles. In 1998, the Good Friday Agreement marked a turning point in the peace process. This historic agreement established a power-sharing government in Northern Ireland. It addressed key issues including disarmament, policing, and the release of prisoners. The Good Friday Agreement brought relative peace to Northern Ireland. It serves as a testament to the power of dialogue and compromise. The agreement's legacy continues to shape Northern Ireland, reminding us that peace is possible. As the 21st century unfolds, addressing climate change has become increasingly urgent. In 2015, world leaders gathered in Paris for the United Nations Climate Change Conference. The Paris Agreement aimed to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius. It united nearly 200 countries in a common cause. The agreement established a framework for countries to set their own emission reduction targets. Though challenging, the Paris Agreement stands as a testament to international cooperation. It reminds us that humanity can come together to address our common future. As we conclude our journey, one truth emerges: agreements matter. They reshape nations, bring peace, and unite humanity in the face of global challenges. From the Treaty of Westphalia to the Paris Agreement, these treaties reflect our aspiration for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of history's most impactful treaties. Let us continue to learn from the past as we navigate the present and shape a better future.